Today we've got a collection video. As promised in the last pickups video, going to be a lot of these in the future. Near future? Depends how busy I am. Yeah, we're going to do a collection video today. Those eagle-eyed who've been here before will notice that the system's missing. I mean, it'll already say in the thumbnail, basically covering the Saturn. Yeah, so the Saturn games are all down, off the shelves, and here we're going to go through the Saturn collection. It's not a big collection for me. I'm not sure how many games there is in a full set. This isn't a full set. I think there's 50 to 60 games, 60 odd, don't know, can't count. Yeah, history with the Saturn. I didn't have one as a kid. My brother did. I had the PlayStation. For me, the PlayStation's a better machine. I know the Saturn is supposed to be brilliant for one-on-one fighters. You know, Street Fighter and whatnot. Not my sort of thing. So the Saturn isn't either. There is some games I really enjoy, and I probably will spend a bit of time talking about them when we get to them. But a lot of them, I haven't played. I won't lie. I haven't played. I try and get games that you can't get on the PlayStation, but there are a few here that I already can see. I know we're on both, and a few that aren't. Shall we get into it? Shall we? Yeah, let's. Not played this. Not played this. Die Hard. I think I have played the other one. I think there was another one which is here, where it was like 3 mini games, like a fighter, a gun shooter, and like a car game. I think it was off Die Hard 3. I can't see it. Can I? Yeah, I can. Anyway, let's get into it. So first thing's a peripheral. I got a box of these. Earlier days. They were all damaged. This was the best one, but they actually came in a box, so it was a box of boxes. But somehow, even though they've been in a box, it looked like they'd all been out and mullered. Yeah, really weird. I got these at an auction. I think it worked out about £1.50 each. Yeah, and sold the rest on. I cannot remember how many was in the box. Like I said, I only kept one. I think there was at least 15, maybe 20, maybe more. Anyway, but they all got sold on, all went on Evil Bay, or got passed on to other collectors who needed them. Yeah, one of those things that just popped up, weirdly. I don't even think I had a Saturn at the time. I think there's a way of using this to play copies. I don't know. Yes, beyond me. But anyway, yeah, it's a thing. Yeah, it's a thing. So we've got that. And then we'll get straight into the games. I'm hoping to pile them all up. I'm hoping there's room. Yeah. So we'll start. Some of these, there's a couple of gifts in here. There's some I bought from fellow collectors like Chris, who used to have the awesome channel Retro 48K, who should come back and do videos because he did them far better than me. Yeah, some of Chris's collection. I think there's some from Kieran Bowes, who doesn't collect anymore. And who else? Fuck me. Who else? Sega Zombie. Yeah, Sega Zombie. I think there's some of his. He's decided to collect Japanese Saturn, so I picked up some of his PAL games. But I can't remember which. Yeah, long time since I picked up a Saturn game. Oh, and there's one from Bill, who actually completed the collection about a month ago. Sorry. Yeah, there's one from Bill. Anyway, enough waffling. Let's get to the games. First one's a classic. I played this. Incidentally, tangent again. I've spent all morning gluing boxes back together. Every time I pick one of these up, either the front fell off or the back. Yeah, I am not a fan of these. I'll just get one at random. Plastic cases. Why weren't they all in these? These are brilliant. These are indestructible. I mean, nuclear war, there'll be cockroaches and plastic sandboxes. Yeah, these, sneeze at them, and they just fell to bits. Yeah, these were not meant to last. Anyway, no more tangents. Alien Trilogy. Brilliant first-person shooter. Really catches the films. As I said, I only played this on the PlayStation. I don't think there's much difference. I think this was a gift. Yeah, can't remember. Yeah, sorry. If the person who gave me that watches, I apologise. Yeah. As I said, this was from Bill. I got this, was it last month, the month before? Was the last one on my list. just kept eluding me. It's missing. This is the only game missing anything in this entire collection. It's missing, if I just open it up gently in case it explodes, there should be a piece of cardboard there that looks like a disc with the corner bitten out of it. I don't care, but Bill did, so he bought another and generously gifted me his copy, which I was supposed to be buying off him, but he sent me it without me knowing. Yeah, so that's Baku. I have not played it. It looks like Puzzle Bobble. Yeah, for those interested. The next is a classic. Not played it on the Saturn. I don't think I've played it on any of the 32-bit machines. I think the last time I played this was on the SNES, and it's Saturn Bomberman, not Super Bomberman. It looks exactly the same, just more of the same. Yeah, you cannot. If you've not played Bomberman, this is one of the greatest two-player games. Literally, you'll either have a laugh or you'll end up killing your best friend. Yeah, there's no middle ground with Bomberman. Another classic. Love this. I do double dip. I have Bubble Bobble on multiple formats. I think this is. Oh, it's also got. Has it got something else on? Yeah, it's got Rainbow Islands as well. Yeah, great game. Everybody, you've got to love Bubble Bobble. Rainbow Islands. It's a great platformer, but it's not easy. Next, I think, is a Saturn exclusive, and that's Bug. I really enjoyed this. It's a 3D platformer, but it's a bit of a cheat. You know, you can't really choose to go in and out of this. Well, no, that's not right. It's not free roaming. I think that's what I'm saying. It's a bit like Pandemonium in the fact that the graphics are 3D, but you have to follow a set path. I think there is a sequel on the Saturn, and I think it costs £1 billion, so we haven't got that one. Next we have Burning Rangers, another one of these in a really good Saturn case. I love these cases. You cannot destroy these. Burning Rangers, I don't know anything about this one. It looks like a 3D shooty thing. Yeah, 3D shooty thing. As usual, people in the comment section who know a lot more about games, feel free to tell me whether I should be playing it or not. Bust a Move. Everyone loves Bust a Move. I don't think I played this till the Dreamcast. I think I had this on the Dreamcast. Got the hang tab on this. These don't last long. They normally peel off. Yeah, that one's kept it. Yeah, Bust a Move. Great fun to play. It's great fun on your own. You're just popping bubbles. Everybody's played Bust a Move, I think. Nearly everybody. I think this might be a Saturn exclusive. Clockwork Knight. I think this came from Kieran Bowes. I seem to remember. Yeah, it's a really good platformer, as I recall. I think my brother had this one. I have played this. Not recently. Not in the last 20 odd years, but I definitely have played that at some point. There was a sequel, and that is Clockwork Knight 2, which I presume is just more of the same. Yeah, I don't know if I said at the start, but I'm not opening any of these up in case they just fall to bits. Yeah, they are all complete. You'll have to just take my word for it. Next is Croc. I remember playing this. This is it's a bit like Spyro, but slower, and as I recall, shit. Yeah. Isn't there a Croc game that's utterly terrible? Is it Croc? Or is it somebody else? Anyway, yeah, 3D platforming thing. Yeah, they don't work. I think the fixed screen ones aren't so bad, but the ones where you can roam about, they just take all the fun out of platforming because you can't find the platforms. That's my opinion anyway. Crusade No Remorse. This one looks interesting. It's an isometric thing. Yeah, it's an isometric thing. Not selling it, am I? Looks a bit Star Warsy. I like these big boxes. Remind me of VHS cases. Yeah, that's Crusader. Really cool shooter, this one. I seem to think this came from a Big Game Al when he was selling up. I think. He likes his shooters. Yeah. Darius, I played in the arcade a long time ago, and on the ZX Spectrum. Yeah, great shooter. As I remember, all the baddies are sort of robo-fishy type things, I think. Classic Daytona. I think there's 2 versions of Daytona on the Saturn. Hasn't one got a better tune, or it's faster? Oh, I don't know. Daytona. Everyone raves about Daytona. I thought it was all right. It's an arcade blast. I don't think it's a great racer. I think visually it looked quite cool, and it was good to see in the arcade, but it doesn't do a lot for me. This one does though. I bought this for the PlayStation. In fact, funny story. Well, it's not funny. It's sad really. I can remember buying this for the PlayStation from an independent store, and I had maybe 6 or 7 boxed mint SNES games. I can't remember offhand what they were. I think one was Pop and Twinbee, Alien 3, but I looked after my boxes. They were mint. Yeah, Mario Kart maybe. Anyway, these 6 or 7 SNES games I took in, and I think I still had to put a couple of quid towards Destruction Derby. Now I'm fairly sure Destruction Derby now on PlayStation goes for a tenner. Yeah, box SNES doesn't. Yeah, it's funny how things come round. Wish they'd kept those boxes. I think the only difference between this and the PlayStation version is there's less shading in this. You know, the windows of the cars. I think, as I recall, the Saturn couldn't do something that the PlayStation could. To do shading? Yeah, tell me in the comment section. Anyway, that's Destruction Derby. The next game is the one that's on the screen. It's Die Hard Arcade. It looks like an arcade game. Yeah, never played this one. Looks alright. Like many of the 3D games from back in the day, it's not aged well. The next is the one I was speaking about earlier, Die Hard Trilogy. I remember playing this a lot. It's just 3 mini games really. You've got this, but it was cool because you could use the steering wheel for the racer, the gun for the shooty bit, and then never really liked the isometric. It was like you had to deal. It was like playing Virtua Cop, but you could see your character. I think that's the best way of explaining it. Yeah, fun game. The next one, I had high hopes for this. I think I got this last Christmas. It's been on my list for a while. It's not a cheap game. It's Dragon Force. It's like an RPG type thing. I think I didn't give it enough time. I haven't got much patience these days. Like most of us, I expect to put on a game and figure it out and play it. I think I'm going to have to read the manual. I didn't get very far. Yeah, I think there's some strategy and management sides to this, and I think as well as just wondering about killing things, you have to like look a bit of resource management and that, and I couldn't figure it out. But I never got the manual out, so it's my own fault. Yeah, it's definitely one I'm going to revisit. So if you've played this, please do put in the comment section what you thought of it. Yeah, Dragon Force. Hail the Duke. A little bit of Duke Nukem. It's a series I keep meaning to go back to. I remember playing these on the PlayStation, or possibly even the Saturn. My brother might have had this one. It's basically done with a sense of humour. Yeah. I think they fetched Duke back on the 360, but I think it was shit. Yeah, the baddies were like cops, but they were pigs. They looked a bit like them, is it Gamorrean guards from Star Wars? Yeah, if you imagine them in a police uniform, you've got the baddies. I don't know if you'll not be able to make that out, and I'm far too lazy to put screenshots above my head. So, but I think most people have played that. The next is a game, I think it's the only game I played on the Saturn back in the day and completed. It's definitely one I need to revisit. It's Exhumed. Now I know this came out on the PlayStation as well. It's basically, it's Doom in Egypt, but with a magic, and it's as if the Egyptian gods and everything were real. Yeah, although they've got about as much chance of being real as everything else people believe in these days. Anyway, yeah, it's, if you imagine that sort of thing, that's what you've got. You know, gods and mythical creatures, and your weapons all tend to be staffs, and I mean they're basically guns, but you know, fireballs and stuff. Yeah, it's great first person shooter. Exhumed. What we got next? I remember this from the Amiga. It's Firestorm Thunderhawk 2. It might have been Thunderhawk on the Amiga. You played it with a mouse. I remember it having a really big intro, which we loved on the Amiga. It was all new to us. These days, every game's got an introduction. But the Amiga, it was new. Yeah. I remember being absolutely obsessed with this, and then hating it after about 5 minutes because I couldn't play it. Which is pretty much every game on every system. Oh, what we got next? Guardian Heroes. I know nothing about this. Oh, it's a one-on-one beat 'em up. Yeah, one-on-one beat 'em up with. I think, as I said earlier, this is what the Saturn did best. Unfortunately, I don't like them. Yeah, 6 players. How did you do 6 players on a Saturn? Yeah, in the comment section, tell me how you did that. Because as far as I know, there's only 4. Unless you get a multi-tap. Did they do a multi-tap for the Saturn? Must be a bit frenetic with 6 players on screen at once. Yeah, can't imagine that. Next we have Gun Griffin. This is a mech warrior type game. These were everywhere for a while and now they're not. I'd still love the Xbox mech warrior with the big controller that costs a bajillion pounds now, with all the buttons and the sticks and yeah, paddles, everything. Yeah, it's really cool. Probably get bored with it after about 3 minutes, but I would like it. Yeah, Gun Griffin. Yeah, these basically they're just first-person robot shooters. I don't know whether you can upgrade your mech or not. I think we're going to move these down a bit before we run out of room. Yeah. What we got next? Hang on. I bet this is shit. Never been able to get on with a motorbike game apart from Super Hang-On on the ZX Spectrum and Amiga. Yeah, loved that. Everything since. Might be just me. It might be just me. But I mean, I love car races. Bikes, I just can't get the hang of getting the bike over and then getting around the corner. I tend to either start leaning over far too early and driving off the track, or just missing the corners altogether. Yeah, not a fan of those. We'll put that there. I'll move that there. Put that there. Next is another first-person shooter I had a lot of time for. I think I played this on the PlayStation. It's not Egypt this time. It's more like it's just mythology. It's you're a wizard, but you still have a gun. You're still a first-person shooter, but instead of fighting, shooting an Uzi, you're shooting magical spells and out your staff and things like that. Yeah, great game. Next, it's a bit battered, this one, but this was a gift. I remember this was a gift. That's why it's not been upgraded. You can't upgrade a gift. If you upgrade a gift, it's no longer the gift. It's something else. Does that make sense? Does to me anyway. Yeah, Scott gave me this. I think I bought a couple of games later on, and he put this in. It looks like Wipeout. So it's either a Wipeout rip-off or... Well, no, it's either a Wipeout rip-off or it's a Wipeout rip-off. That's what it is. Yeah, don't know if it's any good. Everyone's been on about Wipeout. I love Wipeout, but if you're playing Wipeout, you've got to have the Negon controller. You like twist, and it totally changes the handling. Once you get used to it, you can really zip round the tracks. Keep meaning to do a video, and I'm not getting round to it. As with everything else, Next is a game I'm never going to play because it's football. International Victory Goal. Weighs a lot, this. Must be a big manual in here, or a brick. Don't remember this one. Never been a big football fan, apart from Sensible Soccer. And there was one I used to play in the arcade. Oh, Match Day 2 on the Specky. What was it on the arcade? It might have been a Neo Geo game. Maybe. I can't remember. Yeah, long time ago. Brilliant game. I was really happy to get this. Keo Flying Squadron 2. It's not as good as the first one. Keo Flying Squadron came out on the Mega CD and it's just a shooter. This is a shooter and a platformer, which is all well and good, but I think the platform levels are a bit too long and the shooting sections aren't long enough. I think if they'd have done it the other way around, this would have been a classic. Yeah. Series that's disappeared. I'm fairly sure, tell me if I'm wrong, that a game never came out on the Dreamcast and there's been no since. Yeah, great shooter. Great shooter. Another one I know nothing about. Last Bronx. It looks like a Virtua Fighter type thing. Yeah. Last Bronx. I think I got this. I think I got this off Chris. Not sure. Can't remember. Oh, last one from this pile. We have got Loaded. There was 2 Loaded games on the PlayStation, but I'm fairly sure the sequel, Reloaded, didn't make it to the Saturn. It's a bit like Gauntlet with guns and a lot of gore. Yeah, I think that's the best way to describe Loaded. The artwork, incidentally, for those who care, was done by one of the artists who did 2000 AD, which is why my copies are loaded up there in the 2000 AD collection. Feature music from Pop Will Eat Itself. Vaguely rings a bell, does that? Yeah. Next we've got one that's falling to bits. Theme Park. Theme Park with a sticker on the back. Mr. Sticker. Mr. Sticker. Yeah, I love Theme Park. Really, we need a mouse. Need a mouse for Theme Park. And stickers. I don't have a mouse for the Saturn. I'm not even sure if there was one. Great game. Tomb Raider. I remember seeing this for the first time and being utterly amazed. Played it through at least 2 or 3 times. The first time you see the T-Rex. Nowadays, it's like, oh, it's a T-Rex. But back then, to see all those polygons moving about, just amazing. Really changed how games were going when this came out, in my opinion. Yeah, there was a lot of Tomb Raider rip-offs. Yeah, I love it. I keep saying I'm going to go through the entire series because I think, pretty sure they're all on these shelves in one form or another. Yeah, Tomb Raider, bit of Lara when she slapped pointy boobies. This is dreadful. Yeah, Sega Touring Car Championship. It's livable if you've got a steering wheel. If you've got a copy of this, put it on for the laugh. It's definitely, you just bounce from one cut. I don't know why. Did they play test it? Words can't describe how bad this is. Yeah, I mean it looks a bit janky even for its time, but the handling, it's dreadful, dreadful. Talking about dreadful, here we have Tunnel B1, which is absolutely mullered. Looks like it's had a sticker torn off there. Not replacing it because it's poor. Yeah, I think this was a couple of quid. It was probably only worth a couple of quid back then. Yeah, it's not a very good game. It's a bit like Descent. Does anybody remember Descent on the PlayStation, but on the PC? But it's not as good. Next we've got Virtua Cop 2, which is the gun game. I'm not sure why I don't have Virtua Cop. Must have run out of room. Yeah, It's for those who don't know, everyone's played this. It was a huge arcade game. You had the gun and a paddle on the floor, and you could press the paddle so many times, or for such a certain length of time, as I recall, and you could duck. I think the paddle is a button on the gun on this version. Great fun if you've got a gun. Yeah, if you haven't got a gun, they're no good with a joypad. Just doesn't work. Next we've got a huge series. I'm never going to play. A bit dog-eared this one. Virtua Fighter. Yeah, it was huge in the arcade. I'm not sure if this is an arcade perfect port or not. It looks okay. On the screenshots, if you've got Virtua Fighter 2, I suppose you've got to have the sequel. I can't flip these the way it's done. Yeah, Virtua Fighter 2. I'm not a fan. I think one-on-one fighters, I don't mind Street Fighter for a bit. Soul Calibur, don't mind Soul Calibur. That's about it. Battle Arena Toshiden, nobody else seems to like that. I remember having the demo for the PlayStation. Off on a tangent again, and playing it for ages. Yeah, but apart from them three, it's just they're not my thing. Next we've got a shooter. I think this came from Al. I know. I don't know why I'm mentioning him. He never watches. Too busy doing his hotel videos. Yeah, Wing Arms. Looks a great shooter, that one. Game I mentioned earlier, Wipeout. Yeah, I don't know if there's any differences between this and the PlayStation version. Yeah, for me, as I said, you've got to have the Neg-on controller. Otherwise, you're just crashing from barrier to barrier. There's no fun to be had. Sega Ages Volume 1. I think there's a Volume 2, but it only came out in Japan. What did we get on here? Space Harrier, Outrun, and Afterburner 2. I think it's Afterburner 2. It says on the front. Why did I just read the front? Afterburner 2, Space Harrier, and Outrun. I'm sure all are arcade perfect. Yeah. Pick of the bunch has to be Outrun for me, although I do enjoy Space Harrier. Yeah. Haven't played Afterburner 2. I wonder what difference there is between that and the first one. Will we ever find out? Classic Sega Rally. I played this for hours round at my mates. We used to replay the first track again and again, trying to beat each of his times. We were down to 0.00 something or other. You know, you literally you do the start and you'd already know if there was any point continuing. If you messed the start up, we just stop. Yeah, we hours on this, on the Dreamcast, on the Saturn, and in the arcade. If I see, it don't matter how mullered it is, if I see an arcade machine, I have to put some coins in it and play it again. I don't care how much screen burn and cigarette burns and mould it's got on it. Yeah, love Sega Rally. Great fun. I know I got this off Scott, Sega Zombie. He told me to play it. He says you'll really enjoy it. Won't lie, Scott, if you're watching. It must be 2 years since I bought this off him, and this is the first time it's been off the shelf. I do like Shinobi. I think my favourite one is it Shadow Warrior, the one with the dog? Shadow something? Yeah, that's my favourite. Not an easy game, as I recall. Not played this, as I said. I don't know if it's any good. Scott said it was. We'll get round to it eventually, Scott, I promise. My favourite game on the Saturn. A huge fan of this series. I think I have most of them, but there's a tale behind this one. It's Shining Force 3. Yeah. I played these for the first time on the Mini, for the Mega Drive versions. Absolutely loved them, so I bought the Mega Drive versions because I wanted the physical games. This took a bit of while to get used to because they've gone from the cutesy graphics to a more isometric view. But once you get over that, it's basically the same game. Not that there's anything wrong with that, because I love it. The only problem is it finishes on a cliffhanger, because it's actually the first part in a trilogy. But they didn't release them in the UK. So I can't play the other two. I know Stu, to UK, he's got... He told us where he gone from. I think a friend of a friend was doing these beautiful boxes, and the without the discs, and then another friend burnt the discs for him because someone's done they've done English translations, so he can play the other two parts, which I'm very jealous about. I cannot. It's beyond me, and I don't know the chaps to ask. So yeah. Anyway, so really enjoyed that, but it does literally go and then it stops. I do have this. Eddie Rollercoat gave me this, and this is, I'm sure this is, yeah, it's part 2, but obviously I can't play this. I can't. It's a very text-heavy game, is Shining Force, and I ain't going to sit there with Google Translate and try and play it. Well, it wouldn't even play on my Saturn, I don't think. Yeah, but it's nice. It's nice to have, but I can't play it. Yeah. Anyway, moving on. Yeah, I think Eddie gave me that. Did I say that? Yeah. Very generous of him. Very generous chap. Nearly there now. For those still watching. Series, I don't mind. Probably, apparently it plays really well on the Saturn. Street Fighter Alpha, What Are Your Dreams? I don't know if it's the best in the series. It's just the one I've got. Yeah. We'll put these here. These last few. Great race of this. It's as I've mentioned many times, I try not to double dip on games, but some games for some reason double dip on all the time, and this is one. I have this on the Mega Drive, the SNES, and something else. What else? Something else. Anyway, the PlayStation. Yeah, it's Street Racer. It's a bit like Mario Kart, but not. On the SNES version and the Mega Drive, the frame rate's a bit janky, but the PlayStation and the Saturn version, really good, really good. Probably one of the best kart racers on the system, I think. You can have your own opinion, but you'll be wrong. Next we have a shooter, and it's Tempest 2000. Huge fan of Tempest. This is just, it's the same, but with updated graphics and sound. A bit of tearing on the box there. Someone's dragged the sticker off and not been careful. Wankers. Yeah. Great shooter. Was this a rollerball originally in the arcade? Not sure. Anyway, Tempest 2000. Another one I hate. Manx TT Superbike. These aren't in order at all, are they? No, we've got all mixed up, but I'm not doing them again. Yeah, it's supposed to be in alphabetical order, this. I don't know how I've gone from them to these. Anyway, Manx TT Superbike. This has the same problem I have with all motorbike games. As I said earlier, I just can't get the cornering right. I mean, I could tell you some tales about me and two wheels. I do not get on with two wheels. I fancy myself as a pretty good car driver. Yeah, done a few track days, go-karts, proper track days, cars, and I fancy myself as a decent driver. I honestly think if I could sneak onto the grid and get in Lewis Hamilton's car, I would be amazing. But on two wheels, I have a tendency to fall off. Yeah, which is why I don't do it anymore. But anyway, yeah, that's Manx TT. Next is a game I have not played since my mate built his first Windows PC. It's Magic Carpets. It's basically a first person shooter and a buildy thingy. Yeah, didn't describe it very well, does it? You basically fly around on a magic carpet, killing other people flying about on magic carpets, and trying to take their bases or their castles. I think, yeah. So it's basically an early capture the flag. Yeah, not much longevity in this one, but it's good fun for a bit. Another mech game, Mech Warrior 2. A bit lighter this one, we can flick this one. Definitely a Saturn exclusive, this. They fetched out a special controller for this. It's Nights Into the Dreams by the same guys who did the Sonic. It's visually stunning. Is it really a game? Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah, it looks 3D, but it's really not. A bit like Pandemonium, which is next, although it shouldn't be. It should be in the V's by now. Yeah, I proper messed this up. As I said, it came with a controller, a 3D controller that looked a bit like a disc. Very similar to the Dreamcast controllers in looks. I keep meaning to pick one up and then play this. Love Pandemonium. Pandemonium. This is a great 3D, 2D platformer. There was two. I don't think the sequel came out on the Saturn. Yeah, don't think so. As I recall, you could play as either character. I think. Yeah, great fun. It was the first game I got copied for the PlayStation. I think when I ordered the PlayStation, that's what I ordered with it. Yeah. My dirty filthy pirate days. Another Saturn exclusive, Panzer Dragoon. Another 3D game, but with limited movement. You basically, it's on rails. It's an on-rails shooter, but 3D. But sometimes the view, I think you can flip the view round, so you can look to the side, and the baddies come thick and fast from all over. Some really big 3D monsters being shuffled about on this. It's a great shooter. Yeah, definitely worth the play. And its sequel, Panzer Dragoon 2. I think there is, it used to be on my list, there's an RPG Panzer Dragoon game. Goes for stinking them out, but Eddie told me it was shit, so I didn't get it. Yeah, I did fancy playing it, but Eddie knows his stuff, so if he says it's shit, it's shit. And finally, because we're totally messed this up, but I'm not starting again, we have Quake. Everybody knows Quake. Quake, it's a first-person shooter, similar to Doom. Pretty much the same. I think Quake ripped off Doom. Doom came first, didn't it? I think Quake ended up being more of an online thing. Obviously not on the Saturn. And that's it. That's everything I've got. As I said, I think there's maybe 50, 60 games. I don't know what's in a full Saturn set. It's certainly a lot more than that, but that's my collection. I ain't collecting anymore. As ever, memories of any of these games. Games you think I should have that I haven't. Not that I'm going to listen and get any more. Yeah. Or I might. You never know. Yeah. Thanks for watching, those who did.